Hey Ashura, do you want to say hello? Hello! Mwah. Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be reviewing for you the new NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This is the newest foundation by NARS, which I mentioned in my haul video a couple of weeks back. If you haven't seen that, I will link that down below. But anyway, so this foundation has been in my collection for around a month now, so I've really been able to gather my thoughts and opinions on this foundation, and today I'm going to share them with you. This foundation is very smooth and watery in consistency, which is what gives it that really nice lightweight feel to the skin. It definitely does have a very good coverage. I find the coverage of this foundation to be medium to full. I personally use around 3 to 4 pumps of this foundation to get a nice, even and smooth finish to my skin. Now, an issue I have with this foundation is its application technique. I really love applying it with the Beauty Blender sponge. I find this to be the best application technique for this foundation because of its runny consistency. I find when I use a brush, I get really streaky finishes to my skin, and obviously I really don't want that, which is why I prefer using the Beauty Blender sponge with this foundation. Alright, so before I keep jibber-jabbering on, let me quickly show you a demo of how I use this foundation on my skin. As you saw in that demo, this applies so beautifully with the Beauty Blender sponge. I'm currently using the shade Medium 4 Barcelona, which I feel is the perfect match for my current NC35 skin tone. Now, with this foundation, as it is very liquidy, it does settle into the fine lines and pores of the skin, which is why I love applying this with a primer underneath. My favourite primer to use with this foundation currently is my Benefit Porefessional primer. I find it really just fills in the pores and makes the foundation look really flawless, whilst prolonging the wear of the foundation as well. Now, because I have oily skin, I find this foundation only lasts around 3 to 4 hours on my skin before I feel the need to blot or powder my skin. Now, that's really average for a liquid foundation to wear on my skin for 3 to 4 hours before I need to blot, so this definitely isn't bad by any means, but it definitely is not the best either. I find that within 9 hours my skin just looks really terrible and the foundation starts separating, so I wouldn't consider this a long wearing foundation on oily skin. It definitely looks great if you're only wearing it for around 6 to 7 hours, but if you're planning on wearing it for a full working day or for a really prolonged period of time, I don't really find this lasts very well on oily skin at all, so that is something you do need to be aware of. Also, I find this foundation does settle into fine lines, even with a primer on your skin or if you put powder on top. Now, I don't have an issue with foundation settling into fine lines on my skin in general. In fact, this is the first foundation that I've had this issue with, so it's really strange. I kind of attribute it to the fact that the formula is very liquidy, which is why it does that, but it is something you do need to be aware of if you do have oily skin or a lot of fine lines on your skin. This will eventually kind of travel into those areas and look cakey, so you do need to bring a powder or blotting sheet, and you do need to blend those areas out throughout the day to stop it from caking up in your fine lines. Alright guys, now let's talk about how this foundation photographs. I absolutely adore this foundation, not only in natural light photos, but also in flash photography. It just makes the skin appear really smooth, even, hydrated, glowy and youthful, and just absolutely beautiful. I took a couple of flash photos earlier, so you could see how this foundation looks like in flash photography. Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed or not, but in those photos, there is a really light, faint white cast on my skin. It's nothing that's really noticeable at all, but it is there. So if you are planning on using this foundation for flash photos, just be aware that your skin is going to look absolutely beautiful, but there is going to be a really faint, light white cast on your skin as well. Alright guys, so that is it for my review video for today. I really hope you found it helpful. If you had any other additional comments or questions that you wanted to ask, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments section down below, and I will try my best to answer all of your questions for you. Anyway guys, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will speak to you guys again soon. Bye!